Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VCT Americas KICKOFF 2025. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied by Tex of Leviatan coming off of a victory over FURIA in their first match in said competition. So Tex, thank you so much for a new interview this time in a new year and this time starting off with a W. Always good to start off on the right foot on that. And so I gotta give you the obvious opening question. How are you feeling? How good does it must feel to start off this year with a pretty breezy win, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. Starting off the year with a loss is definitely not the right way to start the year. But yeah, definitely happy that we played well. Not even that we won, but just that we played really well together and we didn't make that many mistakes. We definitely still made mistakes, but it wasn't as many as I thought we would, honestly, because I don't know, we just dominated. I'm not gonna lie. I know they just got off the flight, and it's like a pretty unfortunate situation for them. So that definitely has a lot of impact on it as well. But yeah, just happy we played good.
Yeah, definitely a pretty comfortable start, all things considered, and it's a good start to have when it comes to looking at this kind of competition. And so, like, I mean, what do you think was the biggest takeaways? Like, you felt like the team had that you feel like the team could kind of like improve even further from like today facing off against Furia?
I think our communication was really good today. We were really aware of everything they were doing, which is why I was pretty confident we were going to win. Because once we're activated like that, like good comms, we're decisive, we're making decisions, correct decisions instantly. We're playing in a logical way, and just when we start doing all those things, I know we're going to win.
For sure, you guys definitely did that, and I mean, on top of just focusing on the team's return to VCT Americas and having to like defend the domestic crown, there's plenty of focus onto your new teammates, them being the tank and Demon 1. That's kind of what I want to get to now. Obviously, with their inclusion, it brings about like like a little bit of questions of how the team would fare in on top of just having to include them into the squad for the 2025 season, but on top of that, just having to see like how different this Leviathan squad is going to be with like Aspas and Mazzino moving out, going to different teams. So how do you kind of view like the inclusion of your new teammates, and how does that kind of compare to what you've seen last year from your aforementioned past teammates?
I definitely think they're similar, but also different in a way. I think Mizuno and Natank are pretty similar, honestly. They're both very aggressive initiators. And of course, like that's what we want on our team because we're a slow team, but we're also an aggressive team. And yeah, I mean Nathan played amazing. He had the exact impact or more that Mizuno would have. And yeah, Demon 1 definitely has a different play style than Aspas, but he fits right in with us. We just have to play a little differently, and we have to activate him. And he's incredible. You guys have no idea what this guy's been doing in scrim. So yeah, this they're comparable, but not really at the same time.
I think like when one says about like Demon 1's popping off in screens, I mean like in a way it's like kind of expected because that's how he kind of usually plays. Even within and even outside of the official server. But like you kind of mentioned it right there, just sort of the difference between Demon 1 and Aspas. I gotta ask you like if you can elaborate, if you can, exactly what makes these two people different from each other.
I would say Aspas really, really thinks about his positioning. Um, Aspas is very aware of his positioning always, and I think Max just knows he's the best player ever, so he just kind of, you know, raw dog, just takes angles on you, fights you, but he's also really good at communicating in the moment. Demon 1 has really good comms when he's dead, etc. Whereas Aspas, he'll make like the really important comms, but he doesn't really micromanage situations. But yeah, Max is like really good at micromanaging when he's dead, or making a plan and telling us what he wants to do. And Aspas is good at these things too, of course, but in a way, it's always going to be different. Also, like Max plays really low sense, so he's like really slow and precise. Where Aspas is kind of, he can flick you, he can burn. Aspas has a lot of different styles of aim. Where Max also has a couple styles, but his style really is like if I give a fair duel to you and you peek me, like I'll put you down. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how they're different.
Oh, for sure. I mean, definitely one in which, very few people can say that they've played alongside the likes of Aspas and Demon 1. And so, I mean, obviously we saw how that turned out with Aspas, and hopefully, we can see the same kind of form with this version of the squad, later on down the line. I want to take the attention over to Natank. Obviously, he came over from EMEA. I mean, how have you viewed like his like perception or more so his view of the game and having to include that into what you guys already have within the squad?
Yeah, he's definitely brought some ideas that he had from previous teams. He's a very smart player. He thinks about the game very logically, but also he's not scared to take his timing and be aggressive. So I think is really cool. But yeah, you can definitely tell he's like an EMEA player by the way he plays. Very strategic, very very good comms, very just stuff like that. Stuff that you would expect from an EMEA player, whereas an NA, like we have good comms and etc., but we're a little more crazy. These NA players are all just out of their mind, crazy, doing crazy stuff. So can definitely tell he's an EMEA player.
Always for sure. Was there like a little bit of like kind of like uncertainty at first, like as for like figuring out like who's the best, like EMEA or Americas? Has there been like kind of like a clash?
Nah, they know NA is better. It's all good. They don't even argue it.
Okay, I do understand that. This coming from the guy that lost to the Heretics in Champions, so I'm not gonna elaborate further on that. Just a joke.
Ah,
uh,
you're right.
j-
Fuck.
yeah, I mean, I gotta say the truth on that, but never mind. That was last year, so moving on to this year though. Just want to take the focus onto you, Tex. I mean, obviously, like we saw you trying to bring in new players. Talked about your experience with the new teams, but more so, how have you kind of viewed your off season? What has been some of the changes you made from like the end of like Champions and through off season up until this current point?
Yeah, so for me, the off season was really focusing on my health. I was pretty sick in the off season. I had like random sickness, like pneumonia. I was sick for like 2 or 3 months in the off season, so it also affected our practice. We had to play with our assistant coach for a while. I couldn't fly to LA. I had to fly in LA later. So yeah, my off season was really just focusing on my health, making sure I'm informed for the season. Because I changed my sense. I changed like a couple things about my game. So definitely in the off season, it was just trying to perfect my gameplay and be as healthy as I can for the season.
Damn, pneumonia, like that was pretty actually heavy stuff for you to go through. I mean, like, are you like, do you feel like you're 100% now? Without any doubt.
I wouldn't say 100%, but I'm pretty close. I'd say like 90, 95. I still have like a random cough sometimes, and I'm not contagious or anything, but it's just like long lasting effects that I've had. But yeah, definitely just recovering. I'm not 100, but I'm pretty close.
No, for sure, that's definitely a good thing. That good stuff to hear from you, Tex. I mean, and I want to focus onto the game real quick, more so specifically focusing on your role. Obviously, we saw the inclusion of Vice, and we've seen her being played in a few matches so far in VCT Americas and also other regions within which I can't point them out exactly, but you get the point. How'd you kind of view her inclusion into the game, and also like your experience playing the agent and having to like work that into your game?
I actually think she's really good. She's a very interesting way to play because you can flash for yourself or use the flash for info. The 8 second thorn stall is just insane. Like it's so hard if you don't break it and they pop those thorns, you just can't go. So it's definitely interesting. You gotta be really smart with your wall because you only have one like tripwire, which is the wall. So you gotta be really smart with it, which I think is cool. Teams gotta bait it out, teams gotta find it, because if not, you just have the wall there. So yeah, it definitely makes the other team have to play way smarter and way more together. Like the enemy team has to walk through the wall together. Because if one guy just walks through and his other teammates it wasn't coordinated, this one guy was dead.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like on attack, you throw the thorns for the anti-flood, so they can't run in and help their guys. So I think she's really good. And I also enjoy playing her a lot, even just in ranked. It's just so fun. Like people are just so brain dead in ranked. They just try to run through it, or they don't slow default. Like you just got a lot of kills with the Vise. So definitely happy with her addition to the game. Definitely adds like a really interesting sentinel. And it's nice to not be in my killjoy circle all the time. It's nice to be able to run around and actually play the game. Because
I
when
mean,
you're stuck in the killjoy Venn diagram, it sucks. So yeah.
it can be said like it can be the same in which like you being stuck on the cipher because basically is these two ages in which have taken the most prevalence, in the history of the game, including like in recent times. And not fun on that, I assume, but still definitely good fun on just having to play that into the rest of the team, which is starting off the year pretty well. A few more, one more question before I wrap it up, before so that I could avoid the pings from the outside voices from this room. More so in the next match. I believe you are waiting your opponent, which is the winner between Cloud9 and G2. Do you have any preference? Do you want to face in C9 or G2, or do you just don't care? Do you feel like the team's just going to slaughter them both regardless?
In a way, I want to play either of them because C9 they were like our only one of our only losses last year in Americas was C9 start of the season. We had like that crazy Ascent game where I was on stage. But also G2, of course, they're all my homies. They're my old team. I love talking shit after we win. Um, so yeah, definitely. But I'd say I want to play G2 more, to be honest. Just because it's always fun playing against your friends. It makes it a whole different. Backstage we're interacting before the game. We're kind of giving each other like those looks for like, you're my homie, but I'm gonna shit on you. Like it's fun. Honestly, it makes it really enjoyable to play against your friends. I also think they're both amazing teams, and I wouldn't say we're gonna slaughter them. It'll be a good game, but I think we can pull through against both.
Of course, definitely looking forward to what happens in that match, and of course, the subsequent match between them and you guys. So definitely looking forward to that. It's actually got to wrap up, so I'm gonna have to do exactly that. Thank you so much for answering all my questions, and of course, best of luck goes to you moving forward.
Thank you.